Hi, in this video, we'll be looking at inequalities. This is second video in the inequality series. So today we'll look at weighted AMGM and Cauchy-Schwarz inequality. So let's get started. So if you have A1, A2 till AN, which are all positive reals, positive integers, and let's say you have M1, M2, and so on till Mn are also positive integers. So the m numbers are basically your weights, and these are the regular numbers. So what we have is a1 plus a1. If you do the sum of a1 how many times, m1 times, plus a2 plus a2 sum m2 times, and so on, an plus an sum mn times, right? Then this whole thing, there are how many elements in this? There are m1 plus m2 till mn, right? So we'll divide by the whole thing. Mn things should be greater than equal to a1, a, a1, m1 times product. Similarly, a2, a2, m2 times product. Similarly, an, mn times product, whole divided by m1 plus m2 till mn, right? So basically, what we are doing here is applying the general AMGM formula to general AMGM inequality to these numbers. Now there are M1 A1s, M2 A2s, Mn Ans, right? And we just do AM is greater than GM for all of these M1 plus M2 till Mn terms, right? So eventually what we get here is this addition is simply M1 A1 plus M2 A2, and here becomes mn an divided by m1 plus m2 till mn. This turns out to be greater than a1 power m1, a2 power m2, and so on, an power mn, whole root of 1 by m1 plus m2 till mn. So this inequality comes, and this is called the AMGM, weighted AMGM inequality, where M1, M2, Mn are the weights of the number A1, A2, An, right? So the way we write it sometimes is summation of Mi Ai divided by summation of Mi is greater than equal to the product of Ai power Mi and divided by 1 by the summation of Mi, right? So this is product. I goes from 1 to n. Everywhere I goes from 1 to n, right? Correct. So this is how you write the weighted AMGM. It follows directly from the nth case of AMGM. So the general AMGM inequality gives you this. Sometimes you could even have situations where M1 plus M2 plus Mn adds up to 1. Basically, summation of Mi is 1. In that case, the inequality looks like summation I is equal to 1 to n Mi Ai is greater than equal to product of I goes from 1 to n ai power mi, right? So this is a special case when all the weights add up to 1. So we will see a lot of applications of these. One example that I can think of right now is if a, b, c are positive reals, you will have if a plus b plus c is equal to 3, then show that a power b, b power c power a is less than equal to 1, right? So let's think about how we will do this. So we know that 1 is equal to a plus b plus c by 3, right? 1 is equal to a plus b plus c by 3. Now you can say that what you are doing here is multiplying a into a into a b times, right? And b into b into b c times, and c into a c into c into c a times. So let's just apply our weighted AMGM principle. So let's see what comes. The left hand side is the sum. So what I will do is simply write A plus A plus A, how many times? I should write it B times, right? Plus B plus B plus B, C times, plus C plus C plus C, A times, divided by A plus B plus C, A plus B plus C, these are total number of times, should be greater than equal to A into A into A B times, so that is A power B, B into B into B C times, so B power C, and C power A, power 1 by A plus B plus C, right? So we get this result. Now, this means basically that I will just write it here. This means that AB plus BC plus CA, this is AB, this is BC, and this is CA. We have AB plus BC plus CA by A plus B plus C is greater than equal to A power B, B power C, C power A to the power 1 by A plus B plus C, right? Correct. So now we can also prove from here, see, ultimately we have to show that this part is less than equal to 1, right? So we have this whole power A plus B plus C, correct? So if we can show that this quantity is less than 1, then it implies immediately that this quantity is less than 1. So try to understand what I'm saying. I have this quantity and I want to show that this is less than 1. If I can show that, then that will automatically mean that A power B, B power C, C power A is less than 1 power A plus B plus C, right? And that will prove our inequality. So my target is to show that AB plus BC plus CA by A plus B plus C is less than equal to 1, right? Now 1 is equal to A plus B plus C by 3, right? So technically, if I want to show that this is less than 1, I can say I have to show this thing, right? And that is obvious because what we can do is, let's calculate A plus B plus C whole square minus 3 times AB plus BC plus CA. What have I done? I have multiplied it here, A plus B plus C whole square, 3 here, and taken it to that side. I have to prove that this is greater than 0. If this comes greater than 0, then I'm done. But that is again obvious because it is A square plus B square plus C square minus AB minus BC minus CA. And we know that that is equal to half of A minus B whole square plus B minus C whole square plus C minus A whole square, right? We know this is true, so this is greater than 0. As soon as this becomes greater than equal to 0, then automatically you get this inequality. And that means that this part is less than 1. And if this is less than 1, so you can write 1 is greater than equal to this. So you get A power B, B power C, C power A is less than equal to 1, right? I hope you understood the logic of how it happened. We used weighted AMGM to get this inequality. And after that, we used common sense to get the last part, right? Let's look at a slightly more difficult problem, this one. So let A, B, C be greater than 0, and we have A plus B plus C is equal to 1, right? We have to prove that A power B, B power C, C power A plus A power A, B power B, C power C plus A power C, B power A, and C power B is less than equal to 1. This is what we have to prove. So let's see how we will go about this. So I want to construct each of these terms, right? I already know how to construct this. Whenever powers are different like this, I know I have to do A plus A, B times. This is weighted AMGM plus B plus B, C times plus A, C plus C plus C, A times divided by A plus B plus C is greater than equal to A power B, B power C, C power A to the power 1 by A plus B plus C, right? So what I get is, we get AB, this is what? AB plus BC plus CA by A plus B plus C is greater than equal to A power B, B power C, C power A, and to the power 1 by A plus B plus C. Since A plus B plus C is equal to 1 is given in the question, what we can write this as AB plus BC plus CA by A plus B plus C is greater than equal to A power B, B power C, C power A. Correct? I'm not substituting this, and you will see the reason why. We can put this as 1 also, but it's fine. We'll keep it like this. Uh, we have figured out what to do about this term. What to do about this term? This term is similar. You can say AC plus AB plus BC by A plus B plus C is greater than equal to A power C, B power A, C power B. Exact same proof, it's just a different ordering, right? Now, what about this middle term? This is A power A, B power B, C power C. So what do I have to add? I have to add A how many times? A times, right? And I have to add B plus B how many times? B times. And I have to add C plus C, C times, right? And divide by A plus B plus C is greater than equal to A into A times. So that will become A power A, B power B, and C power C whole divided by 1 by A plus B plus C. So again, here what we get is when I add A times, I'll get A square, right? So I'll get A square plus B square plus C square by A plus B plus C is greater than equal to A power A, B power B, C power C, right? Great. So all the three terms I have found out each term's inequality, right? Now I all have to do is add all of these three inequalities. So what I will get is, I will just do it here. What I get is, see, common denominator is there. That's why the denominator I had not removed. Actually, you could have done that as well. So it comes out to be A square plus B square plus C square plus 2AB plus 2BC plus 2CA divided by A plus B plus C is greater than equal to A power A, B power B, C power C plus A power B, B power C, C power A plus A power C, B power A, and C power B. And this part is just A plus B plus C whole square, and this is 1, this is 1, this is 1 is greater than equal to this thing, right? And that proves the inequality. So I hope you are understanding how we are applying this weighted AMGM. It's a natural extension of your general AMGM, right? You just have some terms which are equal to each other. There are many questions like this, sometimes even asked in JEE Advanced and similar papers. So you can be asked sometimes, if 3x plus 4y, find the maximum value or minimum value of this if x plus y plus z is equal to 1 or something, right? So what you have to do, you have 3 times x. So you should split this as x by 3 plus x by 3 plus x by 3 and do y as y by 4 plus y by 4 plus y by 4 and z as z by 5 plus z by 5 5 times, right? And just apply weighted AMGM on these terms. So 3 plus 4 plus 5 will come. You will get uh, x plus y plus z by 3 plus 4, 7 plus 5, 12 is greater than equal to 12th root of x by 3, x by 3, x by 3, and so on. So it will be y power 5, y power 4 by 4 power 4, and z power 5 by 5 power 5. Correct? So you will get here 1 by 12 is greater than equal to uh, x cube y power 4 z power 5 by 3 power 3 4 power 4 5 power 5 and 12th root of this. So basically I have just made up the question. The question would have said, find out the value of x cube y 4 z 5. What is the maximum value of that? So we can isolate that and get it, right? So this has numerous applications. So just go through the previous video for the AMGM general one and this one as well so far, and it should be clear. Now we'll move on to the Cauchy-Schwarz inequality. this is very important, and I will just state it first of all. So for any real numbers, there are two sets of real numbers here, a1 to an and b1, b2 till bn. For any of these two sets of real numbers, always we'll have this inequality, a1 square plus a2 square plus an square product with b1 square plus b2 square plus bn square will always be greater than equal to the a1 b1 plus a2 b2 plus an bn whole square. Okay, so what we will look at is two different proofs of this. The first proof is the classical proof, which is an algebraic proof for this inequality. And the way we do that is we construct a polynomial, a quadratic. So consider the quadratic. F of x is equal to summation I goes from 1 to n aix minus bi whole square. So if you expand it, you will realize that the x square term will have coefficient of summation I goes from 1 to n ai square. This will be the x square term. Then there will be a minus x into 2 times summation I goes from 1 to n ai bi term. And finally, the constant term will be summation of I goes from 1 to n bi square. So this quadratic is actually going to look like this. This is your capital A. This is with the minus sign. This will be your capital B. And this will be your C in the quadratic, right? So since we know that this polynomial is always greater than equal to 0, f of x is greater than equal to 0 because it's a perfect square sum. Therefore, we'll always have b square minus 4ac is less than 0. The discriminant for this quadratic should be less than 0, right? So that will give you 4 times summation of I from 1 to n ai bi whole square is less than 4 times summation of I ai square summation of I bi square. 4 cancels and you get Cauchy-Schwarz inequality here, right? Take the root, or you can just leave it here. This is the inequality, right? Ai bi whole square will be this right hand side, and this one is ai square sum, and this is sum of bi square. So it's a direct proof by considering this quadratic f of x. When will it be equal? When is the equality achieved? It will be equal when each of these factors are equal to 0, right? F of x is equal to 0 only if every square is 0. So that means x should be equal to bi by ai for all I goes from 1 to n. Therefore, that implies that b1 by a1 is equal to b2 by a2 equal to b3 by a3 and so on till bn by an. Basically, the Cauchy-Schwarz inequality achieves equality in the situation when these two sequences are completely proportional. The ratio of every corresponding term is the same. Now what we'll do is we'll look at an alternate proof for this, which is nice, and if you know a little bit of physics, it makes a lot of sense. So if you think of two vectors, two n-dimensional vectors, n-dimensional vectors basically means the vector can be written in terms of two components, right? So it can be written as v1, let's say we will take I for now, v2j, v3k, plus so on, so on. There are multiple other dimensions also. Vn, let's say kn, right? The vector has been written in n dimensions, right? And another vector u1, and you write that as well like this, and un kn, right? Now we know that dot product is defined how? The dot product of two vectors would be v1 u1 plus v2 u2 plus so on till vn un, right? And we know dot product has an alternative definition, which is this. So we have this part mod v1 mod u1 cos theta is equal to this, right? Is equal to v1 u1 plus v2 u2, so on. plus Vn Un, right? Now, mod V1 will be written as V1 square plus V2 square plus Vn square, and mod Un will be written as U1 square plus U2 square plus Un square. And we know that cos theta is less than equal to 1, right? So into cos theta is less than equal to basically root over V1 square plus V2 square till Vn square multiplied by U1 square plus U2 square plus Un square. So this inequality is true because cos theta value is always less than equal to 1. And then replace this with this. The left hand side you can just write as V1 U1 plus V2 U2 plus so on till Vn Un is less than equal to root of this summation Vi square, root of this Ui square, right? And squaring you will get the Cauchy-Schwarz inequality. So this equality will hold again when cos theta is equal to 1, and that will happen when the vectors are parallel. So each of the components must be proportional. So that explains it in terms of vectors as well. Now what we'll look at is a slightly alternate form of Cauchy-Schwarz. So this is called the Engel form. So what we'll see here is this. The inequality says this: a1 square by b1 plus a2 square by b2 plus so on till an square by bn is always greater than equal to a1 plus a2 plus an square by b1 plus b2 plus bn. Now, why is this true, right? Also, the equality here happens. Equality happens again when the same condition applies, when a1 by b1 is equal to a2 by b2 and so on till an by bn. So let's see why this is true. So let's look at base case n is equal to 2, n is equal to 2. In that case, we have a1 square by b1 plus a2 square by b2 is greater than equal to a1 plus a2 whole square by b1 plus b2, right? Uh, so we can easily simplify this and prove this. This will come out to be a1 square b1 plus a1 square b2 plus, I mean, you just take the common denominator here. So you will get b2 a1 square plus b1 a2 square multiplied by b1 plus b2 is greater than equal to, we have to prove b1 b2 a1 plus a2 whole square, right? So when you do the multiplication, it will come out b1 b2 a1 square plus b1 square a2 square plus b2 square a1 square plus b1 b2 a2 square is greater than equal to b1 b2 a1 square plus b1 b2 a2 square plus 2 b1 b2 a1 a2, right? This is what we have to prove if we want to prove the base case, right? So canceling some of the common factors here, this cancels with this, and this one cancels with this one. You will realize that it is just simply b1 a2 minus b2 a1 whole square is greater than equal to 0. Bring the two b1 b2 a1 a2 this side and you will realize that this is just this, which is true obviously, right? So you can rework the steps from here and prove that this part is true now, right? We have followed the implications from this to this to this to an obviously true statement, right? So we have proved case for n is equal to 2. Now, assuming n is equal to 2, you can easily prove n is equal to 3. So let's see how. So a square for n is equal to 3, we have to prove this is greater than equal to a plus b plus c whole square by x plus y plus z. This is the n is equal to 3 case. And knowing that it is true for n is equal to 2, we can always say that a square by x plus b square by y plus c square by z, I will group these two and apply the n is equal to 2 inequality. So it will be greater than a plus b whole square by x plus y plus c square by z, and apply n is equal to 2 inequality for this again. So we'll say this is greater than a plus b plus c whole square by x plus y plus z. So what we have shown is that from p n is equal to 2, it follows that n is equal to 3 is true, right? And we have already established the base case by simple cross multiplication and simplification, right? So that implies that the induction argument will work here. Induction works because you are able to get higher and higher values of n, right? So we come to the final state for n variables. We get this is the Engel form of Cauchy-Schwarz, and I'll just summarize this. This looks like where bn is greater than equal to a plus b, a1 plus a2 till an whole square by b1 plus b2 till bn, correct? So in the next class, what we'll be doing is problems on Cauchy-Schwarz and some more advanced applications. We will also go over to the next set of inequalities that we are discussing in this course. So basically, we'll do Nesbit's, we'll do Holder's inequality probably in the next class. So stay tuned. I hope you learned something from this video, and I'll see you next time.